Hey guys, welcome back to another quick vlog. Today I wanted to talk about falling for propaganda. And oftentimes you'll find that whenever the United States wants to do something abroad, military action, sanctions or whatever, they will use, propaganda in the media to convince the population that the country that's about to be hit or starved or whatever deserves it. And for whatever reason, that usually comes in the form of like media about women. Women always seem to be the focus no matter what the situation is. So for example, whenever Iran, comes up in the news, like when they try to launch protests there, they'll show like images of some women like barely clothed and be like, oh, this was Iran before the revolution, right? Or if they want to pump up propaganda about our quote unquote allies, they'll show you like some Russian lady with an IDF uniform, like that they have, skin tight uniform showing off how hot she is. Oh, wow, look at our ally. They're so free in Israel. Or like they'll show you, for example, like some YPG or PKK, like socialist Kurdish fighter, for whatever reason, they're our allies too. And then there'll be like some lady with like a braid and like some headscarf, but she's also like dancing around, and they don't really show you the reality of any of these people. Of course, in in Israel, those are just like paid, what do you call, actors and actresses that we have, or I should say actresses for the IDF. But like these Kurdish ladies are involved in sniping as well. Like when I say Kurdish, I mean like the YPG or the PKK, like these hardcore, quote unquote, atheist groups, because that's what they are. They're just atheist groups. I don't know what they believe. They're not obviously socialist. If you go to their houses, they're really, really, really well done, and they've got like a ton of money. So they're cashing in big time from our American tax dollars, if that is if you're paying taxes. So that is a huge red flag. Anytime you start to see any like information about women coming out, boom, those people are going to get hit, or we're going to support them and send them billions of dollars, either or. And one other observation I have living abroad now is like with the whole America First movement and how it's not really America First. It's kind of like America Last almost, because America First doesn't mean starting wars that will create millions of refugees. Now, morally speaking, it's reprehensible, but let's put morals aside because we don't have the same moral framework, right? Everybody has different moral frameworks that they're operating with. So let's just speak pragmatically. What is the pragmatic advantage of creating millions of refugees that will be brought to the United States via NGOs who are sponsored by the elites of the world? Of course, the elites of the world are going to bring these people to Europe and or to North America. Is that in the interests of anybody who's quote unquote America First? What advantage do we have from using sanctions to cripple Venezuela? If we cripple Venezuela through these sanctions, which we've been doing for years and years and years, all it does is create economic refugees. So now there are a boatload of Venezuelans inside the United States. How does that serve America's interests? And how is that America First? Does that enrich the culture? Are we bringing over English speakers? Obviously not, And so like, you hate refugees, right? Most America First people are not fans of refugees. So what benefit is it for you to create more of them and to bring them here, right? So I think that these things have to be thought through. And you have to ask yourself whether or not the politicians who you support are truly America First. And in reality, we're not left with many options, if that's what you believe. When I was growing up, we used to have a school of thought, the Chicago School of Thought, that usually people got started with. Of course, I don't subscribe to it now, but with like Ron Paul and his movement, and like how we should be friends with none, but do business with all. That's one great principle that you could have from that school of thought. Friends with none, business with all. We shouldn't be the policemen of the world. We shouldn't be interfering around the world in other places. Supremacy doesn't work for us. At least, it doesn't work for the people of the United States. It works for the elites, of course, of which you're not. If you're an elite person, you're not watching this YouTube video and you don't care about people. You just care about your own self and your own family, and everybody else can go to hell. That's how the elites behave, right? But if you're America First, what benefit is it to us, or is it to you, to create refugees and to like dilute your culture, dilute your language, and everything else. How is that going to serve your interests? And you see some people, they're like, I want to take over, Mexico and Canada. Great, like sayonara to English, right? You are going to learn Spanish. That will be your new language. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, like, if that's your interest to preserve culture, language, culture, borders, right? If you're about having a strong border and a strong culture and a language, the actions of people in power who claim to be America first are America last. And they're destroying your border, your language, and your culture. So think wisely, guys. Don't fall for the propaganda. And I hope to see you for another one. Take care. Bye-bye.